Hope everybody's safe and well. In this week's Prshat Shemos, the Israelites are enslaved by Pharaoh, and Pharaoh decrees that all baby boys are to be drowned in the River Nile. Moshe's mother is very concerned about this decree, and she puts her baby Moshe in the basket in the River Nile in the bulrushes. Pharaoh's daughter comes down to bathe in the River Nile, and she sees the basket, and she stretches out her arm and she takes it. In Shemos, Perek Beis, Posuk Hey, it says, Vatishlach es amosa vatikocheha. Pharaoh's daughter sent out her arm and she took it. But Rashi asks, why is it that the Torah uses the word amosa, which is a bit ambiguous and could have two meanings, rather than the classical word yad, she stretched out her hand and she took it? So Rashi says the word amosa can mean two things. His first explanation is shivchosa, her maidservant, and ama is another word for a female maidservant. And his second explanation, Rabbeinu darshu lashon yad, that the rabbis tell us it's an expression of a hand. Why didn't Hashem use the word yad, and rather he chose a more ambiguous word, which could mean a female servant, or ama, meaning a hand's measurement? Chazal tell us that this ambiguity is to teach us that the basket lay beyond the grasp of Pharaoh's daughter, and she tried to get the basket, but she wasn't able to do it herself. So she either sent out her female maidservant to get it, or she sent out her own arm to try and get it, even though it lay beyond her grasp. The Gemara in Sota Yud Beis Amud Beis tells us, Ha-ka mashmalon de ishtarbav ishtarbuve, that the arm of Pharaoh's daughter stretched out well beyond her physical capability, which sounds quite fantastical and far-fetched. It's a bit like the character of Elastic Girl from the Disney film The Incredibles. The Gemara tells us that her own arm stretched and was extended many arms' length miraculously to enable her to reach the basket. The Kotzker Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Kotsk, passed away in 1859, he was a Polish Hasidic Rebbe, asks, if it lay beyond her reach, why did she even try and reach the basket, and how was she able to? There is a phenomenon called hysterical strength, which is the display of extreme strength by humans beyond which is believed to be normal, usually occurring when people are in life and death situations. Common anecdotal examples include if a parent sees their child trapped under a heavy vehicle which they probably could never carry. They get this adrenaline rush and they get this extra strength, and they are able to lift up the car and save their child. In Parshas Lech Lecha, Bereshis Tesvov, Posuk Hey, Hashem tells Avram Avinu to count the stars, and if he's able to count them, Ko yiyeh zaracha, so his seeds shall be like the stars. Vayomer habeit no hashamayma usafar hakochavim im tuchal lispar osam. Vayomer lo ko yiyeh zaracha. The Lublina Rav, Rabbi Meir Shapira, asks, what would a person's reaction be if Hashem told them to count the stars? I don't know what I would be. I'd be very shocked if Hashem spoke to me, but I'm guessing that my reaction would be, it's impossible to count the tasks. To count the stars. I know it's beyond the realms of possibility. Why should I even bother starting to count them? But what did Avram Avinu do? He went out and he counted the stars. He attempted to do the impossible. Hashem responded, this is how your descendants will be. Ko yiyeh zaracha. When things look impossible and they look beyond the reach of human beings, nevertheless, give it a try. And we, the Jewish people, have the genetic inheritance from Avram Avinu. Even though a task may seem Herculean, almost impossible, we still have to try. And sometimes when we try, amazing things happen. We may think we don't have the strength to withstand certain tests or difficulties. We might think it's beyond our capability, but if we try, we may be surprised and we may be granted with strength we never dreamt were possible. The Jewish people can look at things that are impossible, but we shouldn't give up. And we have to just make an effort, and Hashem will reward us with powers that we never realized we had. And the same way that Avraham started to count the stars, he started even though it was impossible, and the daughter of Pharaoh stretched out her arm even though she knew physically she couldn't reach the basket. When it was impossible, she tried, and Avraham tried to count the stars. And we have the same power within us. May Hashem grant us all the strength to get through this difficult time. I wish everybody a good Shabbos.